This game is another opportunity for the team to reach your objective you have for the year.
Yeah, I mean, it's, there's a lot of tough games. This is the ACC. I've said it many, many times that if we could or if we could somehow petition the NCAA for the games pre-Christmas not to be counted and only count the post-Christmas games. But we were able to get healthy. We're able to practice, and what you've seen as a product on the floor is we've gotten better. And fans, students, alumni, my bosses, media, you want to see the team get better, and we've gotten better. We've got a long stretch of games to go still because it's the ACC. There's a lot of great games upcoming, but to be in a position of year two in a major rebuild job, that two things. One, you're going to have a sellout crowd on Thursday, and so the excitement of the programs, we've had great wins here in McCamish. And then secondly, it's been a long time, Georgia Tech being 3-1 and winning 3 straight ACC games. It's been a long time since that has happened. And on top of it, it's I think there's only 3 teams, including us, that have held in Georgia Tech since the shot clock has started. The shot clock era has held 4 teams of under 60 points in a row. So there's a lot of good things. But the bottom line is we are getting better. We are improving. We still have a lot of work to do. We have a long, tough road ahead of us with the schedule in the ACC. But at this point, we've got that.
Speaking of the schedule, do you ever approach a game as the start of a stretch, this being the start of a 4-game stretch?
I know what everyone keeps saying about a 4 game.
As opposed to 1 game.
No, but everyone keeps saying about a 4-game stretch, but then you see who we play after that stretch. I mean, I don't know what game in the ACC is a gimme. I just think it's just every single team in this league is really good. Everyone's got good players. Everyone's well coached. And I just think in this year, where last year was probably the deepest, maybe in the history of college basketball, this year is probably one of the most balanced of a Power 5 league from top to bottom, where it's really jumbled. It's a lot of just parity amongst 1 through 15, and you can just see a lot of, maybe when it's all said and done after the 18 games are finished, you could maybe see 5 through 13 literally all separated from a game or two in a sense. You just don't know, and so I just know 1 through 15 there's a lot of parity.
Obviously, you're in better position for a stretch like this or a game like this physically. No suspensions active right now, so your roster is better prepared.
We're healthy.
Yeah, do you think you're better prepared psychologically than you were a month ago to face a stretch like you're about to jump into?
Well, I mean, I thought we played well versus UCLA, and I thought we obviously won the game versus Northwestern. But we were playing like with 7 different teams. Like we had one team would come out and someone couldn't play because they were injured, or we couldn't practice for 3. This guy couldn't practice, or that guy couldn't practice, or we had this guy had a SID, and I mean we had 7 teams in 2 months, a month and a half, and any of our practices, you end up, when guys are coming back, it was like preseason. You had to start them over just to try to get their conditioning back. It was just. There was just constant moving pieces and moving parts and in and out, and I felt like it was 7 different teams. And so, again, I'm not making any excuse. No one feels sorry for us, and it's just things happen. But we've been able to recover in a sense that we were able to get healthy and get the team together and get better and improve, and that's a credit to our young men.
Coach, you mentioned getting better. In what area during this 4-game win streak have you gotten better that you think can help? You want to build on for the
Well, defensively, last year I didn't think we were a great defensive team. I thought we were an elite defensive team. If you look at our numbers, we were in Ken Palm, we were 6th best in the country defensive efficiency. And you look at our last games. If you look at our ACC stats defensively, we're right now if you look at the stats of ACC play, the 2 best defensive teams are Virginia and Georgia Tech.
And you're actually beating them right now on paper in, I think, rebounds, blocks, and steals. Is there a particular area in those categories that you'd like to see, that you guys have an advantage over them?
Well, I think Virginia's really, really good. I mean, this is the highest ranked team that has come into McCamish. By the way, they're number 2 in the country. They're serving $2 hot dogs So tell people, that even though there's only a few hundred tickets left, and by now might already be sold out, but you get $2 hot dogs since Virginia's #2 in the country.
All right.
So
Good
just
to know.
another great promotion that we can have people coming. But
Good to know.
No donuts?
no donuts on this game. I didn't need to do the donuts on this game. So, but if I need to, I'll do it at some point in the season. You know, but we're getting the $2 hot dogs. You know, I'm not even though I'm not fitting the bill, we do get $2 hot dogs. But I think Virginia is really, really good. I mean, like I said, it's the highest ranked team to come in here in a long time. But they're really good. They're very well coached. You know, it's interesting. I remember people say, well, they're going to be down this year. And I think they're going to be really good. They are. I think this is Tony Bennett's, again, I'm speaking from an outsider, I'm not speaking for him. I think this is probably his most athletic and long team that he's had as a head coach. And they are just very sound. To beat Virginia, you're going to have to beat Virginia. They're not beating themselves, and they're very sound, they're disciplined, they're extremely well coached. I imagine Tony will be the next guy to be kind of like the Brad Stevens, will eventually get a chance to coach in the NBA and probably be extremely successful like Brad Stevens. So we know we're going to have to play great and play at an all-time high level if we want to have a chance to win the game.
Is it a matter of imposing your game plan on them, or is it?
Well, I mean, look, I don't think you're not going to be able to get real, cute or out scheme some. I mean, you're going to have to make some plays. I mean, maybe there's an adjustment here, an adjustment there, but in the end, you're going to have to make plays, and you got to score. I mean, we can sit here and come up with every solution you can think of. In the end, you're going to have to put the ball in the basket. You're going to have to make some threes. You're going to have to make some shots. I mean, again, defensively, they're sort of like us. They kind of keep the game at a slower pace right now, and they really defend. And so we're really going to have to find ways to score. And the best way to do this, you're going to have to make some shots.
Given what you said about the league being a little more balanced and like it's flat, does that? I know obviously it's going to be a grind, but does it give you some encouragement that we're in the mix and we can do some things?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're one of the teams that's in the mix. I mean, I think anybody can beat anyone, as you see in this league so far. I just think it's parity, it's wide open, there's just everyone's even. Even though Virginia's undefeated, they've got a tough stretch coming up. I mean, it's going to be an interesting, it'll be an interesting, month and a half to see what all kind of shakes itself out. And there's going to be a lot of great opportunities, and I think anyone can win against anyone. I think right now, for the most part, the majority of the home teams have won the home games, but that's why those road wins are hard to come by. But we'll see. I mean, this is why it's the best league in the country.
Brandon Olson transferred here. He's come off the bench. He's started. Are you happy with the way he's adapted to his role?
Yeah, I mean, his job, if you look, since Christmas, he's had 16 assists and only 4 turnovers, 4-to-1 assist-turnover ratio. His role is to be 3 and D. Hit open threes and defend. Doesn't need to do anything else. I mean, he just keeps it simple and focuses on 3 and D, good things happen.
Can you talk a little about AD's progress? Even since November and December, it seems like he's gotten better.
Yeah, well, I've said this. When I came here, I thought, when I got the job here and I watched AD work out, I thought he wasn't good enough to play in the ACC. And he wasn't good enough to be at Georgia Tech at the time. But to his credit, my assistant coach has done a great job. Eric Reveneau, works with the front court guys, done a great job with him. I mean, AD's just gotten better. And now he's developed into a ACC level player. He's a good one. And that's just through skill development. Obviously, the staff really developing him. Like I said, Coach Reveneau gets a lot of credit for that, and then AD working his tail off. But that's who we're going to have to be. We're going to have to get guys better if we're going to want to compete and move up the ladder in this league. And that's part of our plan, is to get old and stay old and have skill development, making sure guys are improving.
How do you compare how you're playing defense now with how you were at the end of the year?
I mean, you got to remember, like last year, towards the end of the year, we were playing at such a high level. And you just don't come into the year and reboot. It's very similar like the Falcons. I mean, they got to the Super Bowl and everyone was just saying, you're just going to right back. And I think Coach Quinn, as a coach, you're like, it's not that easy. And you just don't reboot from the second you just, from where you left off. So it takes time, and obviously it took us some time through stuff. And so we are now playing at a level defensively comparable to where we were last year. And if you look at our numbers just in ACC play, you would say that might even be better based on the numbers than where we were towards the end of last season.
We talked earlier in the season about the team maybe lacking the killer instinct. Were you happy with the teams playing the second half and not allowing Pitt to get back to
Yeah, I
single
mean,
digits?
versus Pitt, we start off the first half at a high level, and then we start off the second half at a high level. You know, they got within 7 a couple times, but, you know, we were able to stretch it to halftime to 11. But, you know, we got to make sure when we have a team down, that hasn't been a great thing with us this year, is we've let teams back into the game, and we've got to be able to, when we have someone down, to keep them down. But, you know, basketball's a game of runs. There's going to be runs for both teams. It's just you got to be able to withstand the runs.
Anything else?